Can you believe it? In a league where legends seemingly play forever, where former MVPs are still orchestrating offenses and chasing rings, one name stands out in stark, bewildering absence: Russell Westbrook. How, in the name of all that is holy in basketball, is this man a living legend, a force of nature, currently without a team? As the crisp air of late September signals the opening of training camps across the NBA, a profound, almost surreal silence surrounds one of the most electrifying players of his generation. It's a question that gnaws at the very fabric of our understanding of basketball value, a mystery that leaves us scratching our heads and wondering, what are we missing? Russell Westbrook, the 2017 NBA MVP, the relentless engine who averaged a triple-double for 4 seasons, the athletic marvel who once put up an astonishing 31.6 points, 10.7 rebounds, and 10.4 assists, making us believe a single player could bend the will of an entire roster. He's at home. Unsigned, unwanted, it seems, by any of the 30 franchises preparing for battle. Steph Curry, James Harden, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, all still hooping, still pivotal, still commanding respect. The guy who once won MVP over them is, inexplicably, unemployed. This isn't just a story of decline. It's a perplexing paradox, a narrative twist that feels both unfair and utterly baffling. Let's sit with this for a second, because the more you peel back the layers, the more bewildering it becomes. This isn't some cautionary tale about a player who fell off a cliff, whose skills evaporated overnight. Just last season, Westbrook played 75 games for the Denver Nuggets, a significant workload for any veteran. The beat writer covering him daily gave him an A- grade, a testament to his consistent effort and impact. More importantly, he helped swing a crucial Game 7 in the first round of the playoffs with his defensive intensity, a moment that showcased his enduring competitive fire. His coach, at one point during the season, even lauded the Jokic-Westbrook pairing as the best two-man game in the league. This isn't a player whose tank is empty. This is a player who demonstrably proved he can still contribute winning basketball at the NBA level. He delivered rotation-level production, averaging 13.3 points, 6.1 assists, and 4.9 rebounds on 44.9% shooting. These aren't all-star numbers, no, but they are the numbers of a valuable veteran, a player who can still impact a game. So, what in the world is going on? The plot thickens when we consider his playoff run with Denver. Yes, the shooting struggles were real and painful to watch, particularly his 11 of 42 performance in the final 5 games against Oklahoma City when the Nuggets needed him most. That's a stat line that would give any general manager pause. But here's the critical piece of information that changes the entire complexion of that narrative. We've since learned that Westbrook was playing through torn ligaments in his shooting hand, an injury that ultimately required surgery. Does that explain everything? Not entirely, but it certainly explains the erratic shooting down the stretch. It adds a layer of context that suggests his struggles were not purely a matter of declining skill, but rather a valiant, if ultimately detrimental, effort to play through significant pain. Adding to the intrigue, Westbrook opted out of a $3.5 million player option, a move that strongly implies he believed the market would value him higher. He had recent tape showing he could still play, a quality regular season under his belt, and the undeniable cachet of a former MVP. He had leverage, or so it seemed, yet here we are, with no team stepping forward, no contract offered. It's a head-scratcher of epic proportions. Why isn't anyone calling? Not even for a veteran minimum, not even as a mentor? The silence is deafening, and it speaks volumes about the brutal, often unforgiving nature of the NBA landscape. Now, let's talk about the legends from his era, the players with whom Westbrook once shared the highest echelons of the game. The contrast is stark, almost heartbreaking. Steph Curry, at 37, remains the undisputed centerpiece of the Golden State Warriors, still bending defenses with his gravitational pull, still viewed as one of the most impactful players in basketball. His game, built on unparalleled shooting and off-ball movement, has aged like a fine wine. James Harden, 36, a former teammate of Westbrook on 3 different teams, is starting for a playoff contender still orchestrating offenses with his signature blend of scoring and playmaking. He's still balling, still a primary offensive weapon. Chris Paul, a remarkable 40 years old, is somehow still in this league, commanding respect as a floor general, a high IQ maestro who remains an important piece for a playoff team. His craftiness and leadership continue to defy Father Time. And then there's Kevin Durant, 36, Westbrook's old running mate from their Oklahoma City Thunder days, now playing for the Houston Rockets, still an extremely pivotal piece for a title contender. His scoring prowess and versatility make him one of the most coveted players in the league. And then there's Russell Westbrook, unsigned, the guy who won MVP, who rewrote the history books for statistical accomplishments, who once made us believe in the impossible. How does this happen? How can a player of his caliber, with his recent contributions, be so utterly overlooked while his contemporaries continue to thrive? Perhaps the answer lies in the evolving nature of the modern NBA and the specific demands of team construction. Westbrook's career 30.5% three-point shooting and his 32% mark last season means he doesn't space the floor effectively. In today's perimeter-oriented league, where every inch of spacing is coveted, this is a significant drawback. His game was always built on raw, athletic explosion, a freight train attacking the rim with controlled fury. He was a monster in transition, a blur in the open court. But as that freakish athleticism inevitably begins to fade, it begs the crucial question: where is his fit? This is where the comparison to Chris Paul becomes particularly illuminating. CP3 at 40 is still a valuable asset, not because of his athleticism, but because his game has always been rooted in crafty floor generalship, elite passing, and an unparalleled basketball IQ. He also shot a solid 37% from beyond the arc last year, providing crucial spacing. Did Westbrook simply not evolve his game in the same way? Did he not develop the nuanced, cerebral aspects that allow players to extend their careers beyond their athletic primes? Or is there something else, something intangible that teams see, or perhaps don't see, that we the observers are missing? The parallel with Kevin Durant is equally poignant. KD and Russ terrorized the league as youngsters, reaching the finals together in 2012, only to fall short. Durant famously left for Golden State in 2016, won 2 championships, and endured all the criticism that came with that choice. Now, Durant is still viewed as a franchise cornerstone, a player whose game is perfectly suited to championship contention. Westbrook, meanwhile, is teamless. It's not about declaring one path right and the other wrong, as that simplifies a complex reality, but it highlights a fundamental difference. Durant is a monster at fit, spacing, and championship equity. Westbrook's game, for all its individual brilliance, hasn't translated as easily into the modern, team-centric, space and pace NBA. I'm left with more questions than answers, a genuine sense of bewilderment. This feels like it should be a profound teaching moment about how basketball value truly works, about what skills age gracefully in this sport, and about the often cruel distinction between eye-popping statistics and tangible team impact. But mostly it just feels surreal. The guy who won MVP, who put up numbers we hadn't seen in generations, who played his heart out just months ago, contributing to a playoff team, is now at home. No team, no defined role, just watching everyone else's media day, on social media, a ghost in the machine of the NBA. How did we get here? It makes you appreciate the enduring brilliance of a Steph Curry, still giving Dub Nation everything he has, that much more. It makes you wonder about the legacies of players who define their eras with sheer force of will and athleticism. Will Westbrook find a home? Will a team take a chance on a proven veteran with a fire still burning? The clock is ticking, and the silence around Russell Westbrook grows louder with each passing day. What are your thoughts, basketball fans? Do you have a theory for why Russell Westbrook remains unsigned? Where do you think he could still make an impact? Share your insights and predictions in the comments below. If this report left you pondering the complexities of the NBA, hit that like button And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more in-depth analysis and passionate discussions about the game we all love. Let's keep this conversation going.